And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym in a Crypto episode 602. Today is Wednesday, September 30th, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday. Now, just as a heads up, you might have saw me already go live and had to redo it again. YouTube Studio has officially rolled out its new update, or they rolled it out back in March, but they officially made it so that you can't go back to the old system, which I have been using. Onward and forward, as Gemini would say. But today's top stories, of course, I'll quickly gloss over the presidential election just in relationship to how it regards to the Bitcoin price of some of the cryptocurrencies out there. JP Morgan to pay almost $1 billion in fines to resolve U.S. investigation into trading practices. Blockchain legislation passes the House, hits for Senate. Congress waives crypto payments and fintech lending in hearing today. SEC orders SALT lending to refund investors in its $47 million ICO. Maduro claims crypto will play a role in fighting sanctions against Venezuela. And last but not least, Coinbase offers severance package to employees unsatisfied with a political mission. And of course, yes, just to let everybody know, I am going on early today. As you can see, Bitcoin Zay and I are back to kind of trying to get on these shows when we can. Make sure we have to tag in, tag out. Do them early, do them later. We're just trying to make sure we give you a show a day if we can. So sometimes they're going to come earlier, sometimes they may come later, and unfortunately, sometimes we may not have them. But again, make sure you have those notifications set. Click that bell next to the subscribe button, and that will come to you. What's going on, Tiffany from New York? Madam Crypto, Leroy Forbes. Hello, everyone. All right, let's take a look at these prices. Bitcoin's coming in at $10,778, up 0.30 or 0.3%. Ethereum's at $357.20, up 0.31%. Ripple is at 24 cents, down 0.46%. Chainlink's at $9.96, up 1.57%. As you can see, it's a mix of green and red. Everything's just up or down within a percent or two. We've been seeing that the last few days as everyone tries to figure out what's going to happen next to the market, right? Some people, of course, are calling for that 11,500 bull run or another push up to that. Others, like myself, I think we're going to see a retracement. There was not much of a reason for Bitcoin to already have been pumping or a lot of cryptocurrencies to pump. It wasn't really a lot of new news, so it just kind of happened as these things normally do. Media takes off, people see the price, they start buying in, right? Stimulus packages were happening. But since that time, a few months ago, not a lot of action has happened. Not a lot of action in the space. As you can see, the news stories are kind of drying up and slowing down. So there isn't really a reason to continue to see that push, I think. I think we'll continue to see a little bit of retracement going into the election, again, until the president is decided, and then we'll see the action after that. Now, with all that being said, let's take a look at these these three clowns right here. Seriously though, I'm kind of going with this Coinbase article that we'll be talking about toward the end of the this episode, being apolitical, because that's what fintech is about, right? That's what Bitcoin and blockchain is about. It's about being apolitical. We don't care what religion you are. We don't care what your sexuality is, your culture, what you believe in, your politics. All we want to know is, does the blockchain work, right? Can we see it? Is it transparent? So with that being said, I'm not going to go into the details of the debate, but the one thing I kept paying attention to, or I paid attention to at the end of the debate, I only saw the highlights, admittedly. But one thing I paid attention to at the end of the debate, and then as well as this morning, as I'll be kind of looking at it throughout each debate, is the price of cryptocurrency and the price of the Bitcoin movement, of the Bitcoin price movement. So yesterday, we didn't see a lot. Like I said, it went up maybe 1% at most. But that's a good thing to see because, again, some people are saying the strength of Bitcoin is going to be determined by the strength of the U.S. dollar, right? Or it will be determined by United States politics, or all these different things you can add into cryptocurrency when it comes to trending prices or trying to figure out what's going to happen next. You have to look at elections and politics, stuff like this. So it was important for me to kind of look at yesterday. Would that price move? Like I said, it really didn't. If anything, it went up about 1%. But I'm going to continue to watch it after every debate, and then, of course, into the election, something I've been doing now since 2016, and to see how that price moves with it. And Bitcoin Day kind of pointed out in our 600 episode of the day, again, we're going into uncharted territory. So something that may have happened 4 years ago for the last presidential election may not happen now. But again, the only way to check to be sure is to check and be sure. So we're taking care of that on this end. Leroy Forbes said, let's talk about that WWE Tuesday Night Raw showdown between Joe Go Slow Biden and old Donnie Boy Trump. Hilarious. Listen, I only caught the highlights. I wasn't about to, someone asked me, was I watching debate? And I was like, I wanted to watch a bunch of old people argue, ... some of the other things I could do. So I didn't watch it, but I did, of course, catch the highlights. And yes, I mean, it was sadly hilarious. But anyway, on to the biggest news story of the day, which is even bigger than the presidential election. Or I won't say the president. Well, yeah, it is bigger than the presidential election because these are the people who elect our presidents. Actually, J.P. Morgan to pay almost $1 billion in fines to resolve U.S. investigation into trading practices. What? WTF, people? What's going on here, right? Craziness. So much to say about the story. Like I said, it's unfortunate I'm on a short clock today. I can't go deep into it as I want to. But here are the basics behind it. JP Morgan Chase is close to paying almost $1 billion to resolve government investigations into the alleged manipulation of metal and treasuries market, according to a person with knowledge of the matter. Settlement between New York-based JP Morgan and several U.S. agencies could come as soon as this week. From what I've seen, that number is going up to about $920 million. A penalty of that size would be a record for spoofing, which is which is when sophisticated traders flood markets with orders that they had no intention of actually executing. The practice was banned after the 2008 financial crisis. So for those who don't know trade lingo, what is spoofing? How does this work? It's basically what you see all the time. What I'm about to say, it's almost like a pump and dump. It's fake volume. We see it on exchanges all the time. You think we talk about all these ghost trades or all these exchanges that swear they have all this volume coming in, all this capital numbers, and in reality, they're doing it themselves. They have algorithms doing it. Or if you want to talk about again from the pump and dumps, it's the same thing. People buying into a certain crypto, making you believe that hey, this thing is here to stay. Has a community. It is going up. That's a kind of a spoof as well. It's like, no, not really. We're just waiting for you to put your money in for the people who do that so they can pull it out. So let's see. While JP Morgan may be forced to admit wrongdoing in a settlement, the deal isn't expected to result in business restrictions on other areas of the firm, said the person who declined to be identified, speaking about the government probes. Well, you don't say. That's my thing right there. Here's the deal, people. You don't pay almost $1 billion and no one did anything wrong, right? So there's a minutes of wrongdoing here, or they may be forced to admit wrongdoing, which is crazy that you could even pay $920 million and not have to admit wrongdoing. It's crazy, right? But clearly there was some wrongdoing here if you're paying $1 billion, because no one comes out of their pocket for $1 million. You think somebody gonna come out of their pocket for $1 billion? And what's even crazier to me is if they are willing to pay that money, which they probably will pay that money, how much money did they actually make, right? If you're having to pay $1 billion in fines, I'm assuming you made at least 10 times that. I mean, like realistically in that time period. And not only that, here's the craziest part of it all, people. This is what they did to a regulated market. This is my argument about regulators and law enforcement and all this other stuff that bootlickers love to have around them because they don't know how to lead their own lives, that they need someone in charge of them, some adult figure. This is my beef with having all these people in the crypto. It's because they cannot control the regular market. Not only can they not control it, they've shown numerous times they can't control it. They also don't do anything to the people who break the rules in that market. You're seeing this with JP Morgan time and time again. Again, that $1 billion Coke shipment disappeared. And again, I'm not even in other people's business, but just off of headlines, I know about JP Morgan losing about $2 to $3 billion, $1 billion on Coke and another $2 billion on fines from various years and penalties, right? So that's crazy. And these are the same regulators and the same people that come from these environments from Wall Street coming over to crypto trying to tell us what's right, what's wrong, what we should and shouldn't do. Oh, and by the way, if you don't follow these imaginary laws we make up overnight, we'll imprison you or kill you if you fight back. I disagree with that, again, especially when you have the likes of JP Morgan selling that Yola, selling that white, selling that Zaza on the side, and then at the same time spoofing markets on the traditional side. And again, I want to highlight this because if they can do this in the traditional market where it's supposed to be highly regulated and all these people in the traditional market has been around for so long, right? We saw that was all BS back in 2008. Then after 2008, as it said, after the financial crisis, we came up with a bunch of more rules and there was more regulators and more tax money went to all of these people just so JP Morgan could turn around and do the exact same thing in the exact same market. Now, if they're doing that here in the traditional market, what do you think JP Morgan and other big Wall Street companies are doing in the crypto market? They are manipulating the shit out of it, which is why they should also be charged for that. Again, when Jamie the Dino Diamond said that Bitcoin is a fraud, the exact same day in 2017, he had his company holding cryptocurrency and blockchain meetings, right? The exact same day. That's market manipulation in this side of things. And that's just what we see. That's not even talking about the spoofing they could be doing on some exchanges. So, again, this is my I like to point out these articles because these are the same regulators. These are the same people coming from Wall Street, coming to crypto. And every now and then we get some viewer or somebody that comes on and is like, well, you guys don't want to follow the law? You want to break the law? Whatever. It's like, I mean, clearly, what is the law when you have a lot of money? I can tell you that's actually a fact in Los Angeles as well. If you got a bunch of money, hey, as long as you're not on tape doing nothing too crazy, you could probably squeeze your way up out of it. So again, that is my soapbox on that. Timothy Grigsby said, question, how much did they make on the illegal spoofing? They already have these fines priced in. Great point. That's something people don't understand too. This is business. Unfortunately, I had to learn to do this type of stuff, not necessarily at this extent, but yeah, when you're talking about business, like, hey, can I afford to X, Y, and Z with a company or whatever and still be okay? Like, that's what JP Morgan is doing. They're saying, hey, can we afford to come under attack by the SEC, the IRS, and all these other U.S. regulators? And if so, do we have the money to pay them back? And they have essentially priced that in already. You're crazy if you think they're spoofing NASDAQ or whatever and making these big billion-dollar trades and they're not factoring in the cost of getting caught. So that's something to take a peek at as well. What's going on, PFC Wells? Trek, yep, said that's baked into the price and revenue model. James Doe said Epstein had a lot of money too. Yeah, but the thing with Epstein is he wasn't doing the money play, right? They had some sinister stuff going on, but I still don't think he committed suicide either. Let's see, who else we have? K. Clack said, I was watching the dollar. It tanked the whole debate. Yeah, I actually need to do that next time. Something I haven't done is watch the dollar, so I do appreciate that input as well. Like I said, I'm keeping my eye on the crypto for sure. All right, we're going to keep talking regulators. I mean, I'm on my soapbox for next. I got about 10 minutes left before I got to run at most. So let me finish this strong. Blockchain legislation passes the House, heads for Senate. That's right. Bills from the Energy and Commerce Committee are making their way to the Senate following votes this afternoon. I'm going to reiterate my same stance on here, regardless of all these people in crypto who say good regulation, we need this and that. Do not forget, a lot of those people are mid to upper level professionals who change careers considerably late in their life, when you go by the normal, right? 40s to 50s, they've changed careers. They might have families. They might have children. They might have other business interests where they can't afford to miss a check a whole year or a few months. They can't afford that, right? I'm telling you as somebody who's very objective, who don't have all those things over my head, that regulation is bad for the market. They cannot regulate the regular market. There is no reason for there to be blockchain legislation in the House heading for the Senate right now. But I'm going to cover it anyway since it's actually happening. Again, this is the updated Consumer Safety Technology Act, which now includes the Digital Taxonomy Act. I said that word all wrong. Taxonomy Act and the Blockchain Innovation Act has passed in the House of Representatives and is now headed for the Senate as of Tuesday afternoon. The Digital Taxonomy Act provides definitions for the terms digital asset. Listen to this, people. It's almost 2021, and there's something in the House and Senate defining the term or the definition for the term digital asset. Do we really need government to do that with our taxpayer money at the end of 2020 to tell us what a digital asset and a digital unit would be? Anyway, they're doing that, and they would task the Federal Trade Commission with preventing unfair trade practices in both. The Blockchain Innovation Act will require the FTC to put together a report on blockchain's role in consumer protection. As we always say, whenever you hear the word protection coming from regulators, it is not to protect you. It is for them to make their money. The author of the two bills, Congressman Darren Soto out of Florida, quoted as saying, as lawmakers, it's our duty to ensure the United States continues to lead in blockchain technology. Again, caught in another big lie. Someone please tell me what year the United States started leading in blockchain technology. If I remember correctly, one of our biggest cities, New York, is draconian when it comes to blockchain laws and regulations. No one wants to do business there. People have left there. California is well on its way to doing something similar. Hopefully we don't go that far. But the U.S. has not been the place. Places like Malta, some places in the European Union, there's places off islands. I mean, there's so many places that have led in blockchain technology. So again, this is my issue with the regulators and government into the crypto side of things right now, because they're already trying to bring bills and things to the floor, and they're starting it off with lies. So how far will it go, right? It's crazy to see. On with that story though, Congress weighs crypto payments and fintech lending in hearing today. So again, more on basically the same thing. Congress is talking about crypto day. This is a crypto day in Congress, right? The Congressional Fintech Task Force heard arguments on new rules that will potentially expand banking regulations to accommodate more technology firms providing financial services. So basically more tech firms, the likes of Google, Facebook, Amazon, possibly becoming banks, right? The U.S. has basically made it clear they do not want this to happen, right? They have talked about the banking the unbanked. They brought that up, saying, these tech companies and cryptocurrency could allow for loans and things of that sort to go to the unbanked. But also, one of the Congress representatives, Rashida Tlaib, I think that's how you pronounce it, Tlaib, she spoke, or she gave a response about whether fintechs had lived up to their promise. And witness Raul Carrillo of the Demand Progress Education Fund said, quote, "I have not seen any hard evidence that these private fintech companies are, quote, unquote, saving the day. In fact, I am worried about these transactions happening without proper protections." And again, remember, proper protections, that's gang talk for extortion and giving us our money. It's hard to say you haven't seen any hard evidence about a tech company or a private fintech company saving the day when it comes to unbanked people, when regulators have already begun to stick their greedy claws into it. Like that is that statement makes no sense. I haven't seen any fintech company do their thing yet. Well, in New York, a fintech company can't even exist. Are you kidding me? Like, unless you're starting off with $10 to $15 million, you literally cannot exist. In fact, at the beginning of crypto, along the likes of Charlie Shrum, you were arrested and imprisoned 23-year-olds who are trying to start financial businesses in New York. Like, you were literally arrested and imprisoned them. Or you talk about the likes of Ross Ulbricht, who's serving a double life sentence for a website, or the new 17-year-old kid who hacked Twitter, who they're trying to give, 100 years to. So you cannot say that I haven't seen a private financial technology company save the day of an unbanked person when, as regulators and congressional delegates, you all are doing everything in your power to make sure that does not happen, because your interest lies in banks. Again, from a business perspective, I get it. They pay for your fundraising, for your campaign trails and all that. But let's not act like you're doing something to help people. That's crazy right there. Another thing they also said, let's see, there's a couple of good quotes in this article. When I say good, I mean bad quotes. Let's see. "We also believe lending and payments each require a significant adjustment in regulation, and we would suggest the OCC focus on payments first as new technology entrants like Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency gain traction." Now, one of the things they also noted in here, which is why I think this is actually gaining traction in Congress and all this other stuff, is because what do we always talk about? Derivatives on top of derivatives, right? The U.S., hey, listen, it's sad, but we're out of a lot of ideals, and we're not doing things to make money, which is why we're just printing money. So if you're just printing money out the blue, what are some new ways to create more derivatives? By accepting cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and blockchain technology, right? Because now when you do start talking about these crypto loans, which they brought up in this article, they even brought up Facebook. No, we don't want Facebook and Libra to try to help bank the unbanked. We don't want them to do crypto loans. We want to be the ones that do it. So as always, it's kind of the U.S. government positioning themselves to make sure they're there for the win. So I guess as citizens, we can be happy, but something to pay attention to. And last but not least, on the Regulator Soap Box, this is crazy to see. SEC orders SALT lending to refund investors its $47 million ICO. What are you? I mean, this is crazy. It's a great photo on CoinDesk as well. They have a broken salt shaker there with salt spilling. The top U.S. financial watchdog has ordered SALT lending to offer investors refunds for its 2017 initial coin offering. Oh my goodness, people. This is the same government who in the last article in today's, like literally, or excuse me, today's Wednesday, in yesterday's and Tuesday's hearing, they just said we're not seeing any fintech companies, quote unquote, saving the day. At the same time, you're finding a company whose entire purpose and mission was to create loans through cryptocurrency to the unbanked. Again, this is crazy. This is why I am so against right now even paying attention to the regulators, because it's just they're over here finding JP Morgan, but allowing them to live, but they're coming over to the crypto space, killing companies. Hey, listen, it's up to you as business owners and people out in the crypto industry. But my 2 cents is you have to be crazy to listen to regulators right now, especially after seeing the presidential debate. You out here following laws? Come on, people, do the right thing. You don't have to follow laws, but do the right thing. The Securities and Exchange Commission told Salt Blockchain, the owner of the lending platform that offers dollar-denominated loans collateralized by cryptocurrencies, it had 14 days to begin the process of offering refunds to investors. What? Not only are we coming after you for a 2017 ICO, which is perfectly legal and right. I don't know what's illegal about having people who make their own money around the world say, hey, I believe in your project and I want to give you some money. And I just hope that if you make it big, once your project makes it big, the money I gave you has a percentage of it, or I get something back. I don't understand how there's any other human intervention when it comes to that business dealing itself. So the fact that the SEC is getting involved that's a non-essential right there. I don't know why my tax money is going to that to this day. But in a public letter, the SEC said Salt's ICO violated securities regulations by not registering the sale beforehand. Now, some more information for people who are new in the crypto space. Before 2017, before ICOs really got big that year, there wasn't talk of what crypto was fake. You remember 2016 when I got into crypto was still fake. All right, like it was still not being taken serious. So there was no registering for securities because they would have laughed at you. Like, why are you trying to register your jar of marbles with the securities, right? It doesn't make sense. Why are you trying to register your Pokemon trading cards with the securities? It just wouldn't make sense to do that. And then all of a sudden that it makes $47 million, they come back literally 3.5 years later and say, oh yeah, you didn't register that. Like, hey, y'all owe us $47 million or give everybody their money back. You got 2 weeks to do it. That's crazy. The SEC said the token counted as a security because Salt told investors they could expect to make a return on their investment. Again, I don't see anything wrong with that, and I don't see why another adult who I never met needs to tell me or a company why this business transaction should or shouldn't happen. It looks like investors will have 3 months to submit a claim to Salt, who will be obligated to pay back their investment along with any agreed interest. Salt has agreed to settle the action and will pay a $250,000 civil penalty to commission in the next 10 days. That's right. Get down or lay down. This gang thing is real out here in America, baby. It is crazy. Look, Rashu just said that too. Gang in the building. I don't know what else to call it. If you consider something fake and then you come back to, if you come back to a person 3.5 years later after you basically told them it was fake, it was like, oh yeah, I want some money and you need to give everybody their money back. Oh, and this business thing is over. Listen, people, that is extortion. I don't understand it. It's crazy to me. Let's see. PFC Wells said it's that sideways 51% attached throws, shoulder taps, and legal shakedowns. Exactly. Legal shakedowns. Speaking of legal shakedowns, some people say they're not playing that game anymore. That is right. Maduro claims crypto will play a role in fighting sanctions against Venezuela. And I forgot who the commenter was. They made mention of President Maduro in Venezuela, and they basically said he is full of it. Nothing good is going to come out of there. And again, not disagreeing. I'm just staying in the middle of the road of this, not necessarily for Venezuela, but because it's setting precedent for other countries to look at what they're doing and they may try the same thing. Even the United States, right? We don't know. We do a lot of trade with China. We do a lot of trade with the Middle East. It may be something we can use blockchain technology for to say, you know what? If we don't have things our way, we won't do this. We won't do the business with you. So that's why I like to continue to pay attention to Venezuela because they are leading the way when it comes to countries implementing cryptocurrency and implementing blockchain and all that type of stuff. But again, it looks like President Maduro is back in the news after he said that the government is now looking at diverse cryptocurrencies as a potential way of avoiding sanctions. That's right. He actually came out and said it. This is no undercover beef no more. The U.S. and Maduro, hey, listen, it's like this. It was undercover for a while, sanctioned here and there. He's coming right out and saying that we about to start using crypto so we can get around these sanctions. It looks like the anti-sanctions bill is the first response, as he's being quoted as saying the anti-sanctions bill is the first response to give new strength to the use of the petro and other cryptocurrencies, national and global, in domestic and foreign trade, so that all cryptocurrencies of the world, state and private, could be used. This is an important project that is under development. Now, again, you don't have to believe them, you don't have to like them. The situation in Venezuela is crazy, but the point is that he is pushing this forward. If another country piggybacks on it and likes this idea, whether they do business with Venezuela or not, and decides to actually start using crypto for stuff, then you could see a change. Because I'm telling you right now, unless the United States explicitly says, which I think they might have, so I can't do it, but unless it like explicitly comes out and like, you can't buy the petrol, you can't do this or that. If they start putting this on exchanges, and I'm just using the petrol as an example, I don't believe in that. Just make sure we're clear. But I don't know, let's say it's Russia saying natural gas, or Turkey saying oil, or whatever, right? Somewhere else, a diamond mine somewhere in some country saying, hey, you can do this. And you can actually use your crypto to buy it and do transactions from all over the world, and someone puts this all together. I'm in. This is what it's about. I mean, I am in, because there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to trade and do business with someone anywhere in the world. Like, why would you, again, allow another human to tell you you're not allowed to do that? It is crazy. All right, last but not least, let's see. James Dose, I thought Juan Guaido was a legitimate president-elect vote in by the USA. Hilarious. Last but not least, Coinbase is in the news. Coinbase offers severance package to employees unsatisfied with a political mission. Now, first and foremost, Brian Armstrong, I'm going to give you a round of applause. All right. Hand clap for Brian Armstrong. Let them things hang, all right? If you start a business from scratch, I mean, I'm tired of seeing this in the news too. If you start a business from scratch, you don't owe nobody nothing. That is extremely difficult to do. You don't owe people an explanation. You don't owe them a severance package. You don't owe them a higher wage if you don't want to. You started it. It's that simple. I know people get pissed off at Jeff Bezos all the time. He's worth $200 billion. Yeah, but did you see those early year pictures when he was about to go freaking crazy trying to put that company together? So I'm going to just say that. But with all that being said, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong sent his employees a letter telling them to get in line with a new company culture shift, offering those unwilling to do so a generous separation package. Now, the whole thing about this letter, he basically said, hey, guys, we're going to be apolitical. I don't want to hear about no side. I don't care what you rep and I don't care what you believe in. We're here to do Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. If you don't like that, then no problem. I can give you a severance package. If you've been here less than 3 years, you get a 4-month severance package. So 4 months of all your bills still paid for. If you've been here over 3 years, it says you can get up to 6 months plus medical care almost for a year. So, I mean, they are literally setting people off with a nice small little parachute, right? I won't say a golden one, but definitely a silver or bronze parachute for some. Now, what I like, most about this, not just the fact that a business owner was like, no, I'm not playing that game. This is the way we're doing it. But what I like most is that this is crypto, people. This is the industry. Like, the whole part of the Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain is for everyone to have access to banking. Everyone to have access to money. You can't tell someone, no, they can't have money for whatever reason. So I agree with them. If that is the actual mission, that is what your business is actually doing, then yeah, there cannot be room for discussion for all this other stuff, because that affects the money. Because if you start talking about what president you want to elect, which side you stand on this, which side you stand on that, what's going to stop you from being at that company one day once you really grow and get bigger and saying, no, we need to red list these accounts. They're not allowed to get any money transferred to them, or we need to stop this transaction from happening. Slippery slope, people. Very slippery slope. What Brian Armstrong did is a very difficult thing to do in today's time, to just really put your foot down and be like, this is what it is. But he did it. It looks like he said employees have until October 7th to submit a form to begin the process of severance if they should choose to do so. And he ended it saying, hey, it doesn't mean you have to agree with every aspect, but you should be at least able to disagree and commit to making this new direction a success. So again, shout out for that apolitical mission at Coinbase, because the crypto part of it is more important than the political whatever mission going on there. People didn't tune into Coinbase for your thoughts and beliefs about life. We tuned in because you guys were selling Bitcoin, right? So again, that was pretty interesting to say. And last but not least, let's see. There was something else on this story. I'm forgetting to mention it as well. That's why I keep scrolling up and down, hoping it come back to me. It probably won't, but if I remember it tomorrow or Friday, I would definitely bring it up. Let's see. PFC Wells said, yeah, but they do corporate political activities. Oh, thank you, Trek. That is what I wanted to say. Let's not be fooled, people. I say all of that in hopes that they're working just toward a crypto mission. Coinbase is getting ready to do an IPO. I mean, it's that simple. They are ready to sell that bad boy to whoever, JP Morgan. JP Morgan almost was about to buy it, I think, until today or yesterday. They're like, hold on, bro. We need another quarter or two to make this billion back. But no, Coinbase is getting ready to sell. And I mean that serious. They're getting ready to sell, and they don't need nothing in the mix. If you work at Coinbase and you got flags over here, you're saying this president over here, you got this doing... No, we got people walking into these offices right now trying to evaluate us. We don't need that. And not only do we not need all of this in the mix, and of course I'm thinking about, I was like, a Coinbase executive. Not only would I want all of that there, but also as we IPO, I'm trying to skim the fat. I'm trying to get rid of everyone we don't need so that they don't get a percentage or any extra money we don't have to pay them. What's one way to do that? Let's calculate it. Right now, during the pandemic, people need money. We can offer people who've been here less than 3 years this 4-month severance package. We can say the reason why is because it's an apolitical stance. And easily we can get rid of 10 to 15% of the company. So when we actually sell it, we're saving ourselves $50 to $70 million off of this early $1 or $2 million we might be spending here on the front end. So that's my way of looking at it from a business perspective. People, let's not forget, we're talking about billion-dollar companies, a lot of money at the table, a lot of stuff going on. And I don't think things are as simple as black and white as, oh, we don't want you guys to talk about anything just because we just want to keep the peace and work on our work. It's probably more like, hey guys, we're working on selling this company. It's going to be worth a lot. Let's shut up and let's just sell this company, and then you can say what you want afterwards. I don't know. That's my thought on it there. Last couple of comments. James Doe, Venezuela is sanctioned from taking part in the free market. Their funds are locked in the Bank of America, and Bank of America will only be paid out to Juan Guaido, talking about extortion of the people. Oh yeah, that's the one the U.S. tapped in. Hilarious. PFC Wells, the crazy things, they had the accountability HR department crunching the numbers on the short-term loss compared to the long-term gains. Oh yeah, exactly. Right. Again, people, everything I say on here, like, again, I think from a business standpoint behind the scenes, like, if Coinbase was smart and they actually are IPOing, I would try to get rid of everyone I possibly could right now. And I would, if that causes me, if I had to shake the boat to do it, if I had to say, you're not allowed to wear blue to work, or you're not allowed to wear this, or you're not allowed to say hello between the hours of 9 and 9:15, then whatever, just make it happen. Other than that, I went way over. I got to go. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like and share, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more